Hey everyone, how you all doing today? And welcome back to another video. Welcome to a meta guide for Max Out the new season. So huge shout out to PvPoke. You could preview the new meta on his website before it goes live. Now one thing to keep in mind is for the energy decrease and the energy increase, technically we don't know, right? You know, Mudshot is going to take a little bit longer to get to the moves, but we don't know by how much. PvPoke generally assumes it's going to be +1 if it's being boosted or -1 if it's being nerfed. So assuming it's going to be -1, except for Psywave, I do believe he has Psywave at +2. With that assumption, obviously things could change. I just want to point that out. Once we get this update, right, things could change. I'm publishing this a day before, so yeah, just something to keep in mind. A couple of these Pokemon, 1 or 2 Pokemon might change, namely that Malamar, if it's only gaining a +1 boost in energy generation, but we'll have to see. Don't know for sure. But with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and dive right into it with the S rank. Let's jump into Clodsire as rank number 1. You better believe it, Clodsire is so good. So you know, it has Mudshot and it has Poison Sting for its fast moves, right? And you're going to want Poison Sting now because both of them are doing a little bit more damage next season. But Mudshot's going to take longer to get to. Poison Sting is just the same. So Poison Sting is going to be the move you want to go with. Next up, we have Carbink. Nothing is being touched on Carbink. It's just as tanky as it's ever been. It's going to be good. Decent amount of answers to it. But, you know, when it walls a Pokemon, it walls a Pokemon. And it has play even against like fighters like Machamp. Obviously, Moonblast going to knock it out. So great Pokemon, of course. For Alligator, PvPoke does recommend Ice Beam on Feraligatr for this season. I don't remember what it was recommended last season, but yeah, Hydro Cannon, Ice Beam, Shadow Claw, none of them are being nerfed. Neither is Crunch. So great Pokemon. The Shadow and the non-Shadow really depends on your team comp, but both of them are going to be fantastic. Gastrodon, so Gastrodon with that Mud Slap, not only is it doing more damage, but you're going to get to the moves faster. That is absolutely insane. Now, it also has Body Slam, has Earth Power, and has Water Pulse. Body Slam is technically being nerfed with the damage, but it's still going to be super spammy. So do you want the Body Slam, or do you want both of the nuke moves, like Earth Power and Water Pulse? Maybe they're not nuke moves, but you get the point. I don't really know, but going to be really, really interesting. Mud Slap, an insanely good move. Did you ever think Gastrodon would be ranked in the S tier in the Open Great League? I certainly did not, and I have a really good ranked one, so I'm super excited. Dunsparce Rollout is doing so much more damage this season compared to previous seasons, so definitely highly up, and it really got a boost in attack. So yeah, really strong Pokemon for sure. Mandibuzz is going to be the best flyer. It seems like all the other flying type Pokemon were nerfed. Wing Attack was nerfed, Sky Attack was nerfed. Mandibuzz doesn't have any of those. It has Snarl, which is generally what you want as a fast move. You do see S-Slash occasionally, but generally you want Snarl. And then you want Dark Pulse, as well as Aerial Ace. So yeah, it's just such a tank. And it's going to be a really good Pokemon this season. I mean, it was good last season, but it's just going to be better this one just because you don't compete with the other flyers. You know, the other flyer, you're not going to see Gligar. Gligar's done. Both of Gligar's moves were nerfed. And then we're moving on to Pangol. Oh man, Pangol. I think Pancham was spawning. Was it spawning at GoFest? Maybe it was the New York GoFest. I definitely got a bunch of them. Unfortunately, I didn't save any, so I don't have a good one. I never thought Pangol would be useful. But no, it's going to be really good with that Karate Chop move. Absolutely getting to the moves so fast. Karate Chop is just... it's going to be the best fighting type move in the game now. Like Counter was previously. But now Karate Chop is going to be really good. Clefable, really good. I mean, they boost Fairy Wind damage, so it's going to do a little bit more damage, kind of like Poison Sting and Mudshot. Not too much more damage, a little bit. And then it also has Swift, and it has Moonblast, and Swift is getting buffed. It's going to be faster to get to, so it's going to be a really good moveset and a really great Pokemon. And then we have Machamp, or Shadow Machamp. Definitely prefer the Shadow one. So Karate Chop, which is a legacy move, something to keep in mind. You don't want Counter anymore. You want Karate Chop with Cross Chop. Cross Chop was boosted at one point, so it's doing more damage. Not this season. It was the previous season. I don't remember if it was last season, when it was. But and then you want Stone Edge, which is another legacy move. So a double legacy Shadow Machamp, but I would say it's worth it. Moving on to the A rank, we do have Bastiodon. Still going to be a powerhouse Pokemon. Listen, SmackDown was nerfed a little bit, and that is good. But if it walls a Pokemon, it's walling a Pokemon. You know what I'm saying? It's not like... I don't think you'll see Altaria, but it's not like Altaria is going to beat this anyway, despite this slight nerf. You know, Alolan Marowak's not going to beat... Well, Bone Club was boosted. But you get the point. If it nerf... You know, the nerf... Don't think it's going to change much for Bastiodon, unfortunately. And then we have Malamar. So, as I mentioned, Psywave, if it's getting that +2, is going to be really good. Energy generation, if it is. But if it only gets a +1, it's not going to be as good. But, so putting it here for right now. Just something to keep an eye on. We'll see how Malamar pans out. And then we have Quagsire. Yes, the Mudshot was nerfed, but it's still not a bad Pokemon. It's going to take a little bit more to get to the Aqua Tail, but still a good Mud Boy for sure. And then we have Azumel. Azumel was not touched, so Bubble, Ice Beam, Play Rough, Hydro Pump, choose your moveset. Most of the time nowadays I see Play Rough and Hydro Pump, but it might change next season. All three moves are useful on Azu. And then we have Toxapex, a really good Pokemon. Toxapex, super tanky. Brine is not a good move, but you have to use it. But yeah, you just have to watch out, right? Because obviously you don't want to go up against the Mud Slap users, so... but still a good Pokemon. I like this one a lot. And then we have the Marowak with that Mud Slap. We know how good Mud Slap is going to be. Unfortunately, you know, I don't have any Shadows. You know, I had Shadow Cubones in the past, but I evolved them when you could evolve them into Marowak to get the exclusive move, what is Shadow Bone, right? Which I'm happy to have, but I wish I had a Cantonium one now. So unfortunately, I don't have a Shadow one. But do you? Let me know. Moving on to the B rank, we do have Jump Pluff, so with Fairy Wind is getting a boost. PV Poke recommends Aerialace over the Acrobatics, which is pretty interesting, I guess, maybe because you get to it faster. You know, so yeah, I mean, super bulky Pokemon. And then we have Licky. It's not going to have the impact that Lickitung has, I don't think, or had, because it just doesn't have the bulk that Lickitung has. But Rollout, as we know, is being significantly buffed. Now, it does have Body Slam. You could go double nuke on this. You could go Shadow Ball, Earthquake. I believe that's the moveset. That might be the move, the way to go on Licky. I mean, Body Slam, going to get to it faster, of course, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. And we have Drapion, of course, that Poison Sting being boosted, doing a little bit more damage. Registeel. So the thing about Registeel is Zap Cannon is being nerfed. We don't know the exact stats, like the debuff chance. I'm going to go out on a limb and assume it's going to be maybe like 50%. Still going to be really good because it's such a tank and it's still doing a lot of damage. So the damage is not nerfed. So still going to be a really good Pokemon. And then we have Gallade. Gallade with that Psycho Cut, Leaf Blade, and Close Combat. Guess it moves really fast. Diggersby, we've seen Diggersby. Diggersby is not being nerfed to anything. It's not being boosted either, but Scorching Sands is a really powerful move. And then we have Wigglytuff, the best Charm user. In this meta, since Swift is being buffed, you definitely do want Swift, and I think it's the assumption that it's going to take 6 Charms to get to Swift, compared to 7 and then 8 to Icy Wind. But yeah, so going to be great Charm user if you want to go with that route. And moving on to the other options, we do have Machoke. Machamp, I would say, is the way to go. Pangoro you could also use as a fighting type, but Machoke does have Karate Chop as well. It's just about the thing about Machoke, a Shadow Machoke, I feel like it's going to shine in the Evolution Cup. But that's not coming around this season. I'm just saying in the future. Aurorus, another Pokemon, not being boosted, not being nerfed. So still going to be pretty good. And then we have another Mud Slap user, Golurk. Ooh, Golurk. It's just really frail. It really cannot take a hit. But still, I mean, Mud Slap, obviously with the Shadow version, going to be doing a lot. Regirock, we all know Regirock, and we've all seen it. Alolan Sandslash, still going to be really strong. PV Poke is recommending Powder Snow this time around over Shadow Claw. And then we do have Quillfish with that Poison Sting buff. We do have Alolan Marowak. I think Alolan Marowak is going to be good. I don't think it's going to be like meta. They are buffing Fire Spin. So it is doing more damage. And then Bone Club is doing more damage. I think Fire Spin is doing more. Or is it? No, I don't think the energy generation increased. I think it's just doing more damage. Same with Bone not Bone Club. Yeah, Bone Club. Bone Club, which is good, right? So... It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good Pokemon, but there's just so many water types, so many Pokemon that beat it. Cobink, which is not a water type, but it still does well against the Alolan Marowak. And then we have Feraligatr, of course. We have the Mud Slap users like Gastrodon and Marowak. So, yeah, I mean, we'll have to see how it plays out. I'm sure we'll definitely see it, but it does have a lot of weaknesses on the top Pokemon like Mandibuzz, for example. So, yeah, we'll see, we'll see. I don't think it's going to shine, but I think it's going to be fun to use. And then we have Steelix, another good Pokemon. Over the Breaking Swipe, you don't need that anymore. You could run Crunch and Psychic Fangs. Then we have Whimsicott, again, the Fairy Wind boost. Miltank with the Rollout boost. Dunsparce is going to be the better option, I feel like. Galarian Weezing. And then Guzzlord. Guzzlord is going to want the moveset Brutal Swing and... Well, actually, no. Brutal Swing... You could go Brutal Swing Sludge Bomb, so you have some play against fairies. It's not going to be great against fairies, but, I mean, you have the Brutal Swing now, which is going to be better than just getting to it faster. Do you really need Dragon Claw? You have Dragon Tail. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the solid team options. For the first team, I do have Clodsire in the lead with Shadow Machamp and Clefable. I think that's going to be a solid lead. I mean, Clodsire is just going to be a great Pokemon all around, for sure. And then Machamp, probably a relatively okay safe swap. You just have to watch out. I mean, there's some Pokemon you have to watch out for, obviously Fairy types. But the Stone Edge is going to hit like a truck, for sure. And then the next team, we have Double Water with Feraligatr and Gastrodon. The backline, not going to appreciate Grass types, so I put Mandibuzz in the lead. Kind of could struggle against, well, I mean, Wigglytuff, obviously. Mandibuzz doesn't want to see Wigglytuff, and then Shadow Claw is double resisted, so could struggle with that. And then next up we have Feraligatr, or Shadow Feraligatr, with double tank, so Clodsire and Carbink in the back. You could go with other bulky, tanky Pokemon, Bastiodon, Registeel. I think they could work as well, but I feel like these two are pretty flexible. And then the next team, we do have double rollout users and normal users with Dunsparce and Lickilicky. Now, the backline is going to hate fighting types, so I put Azu in the lead. Of course, you could put something else in the lead that does well against fighting types. Then next up, Malamar with Registeel and Jumpluff. Again, assuming Malamar with the Psywave gets the +2 in energy generation. We'll have to see when it comes out. And then the final team is going to be double Mudslap, users with Gastrodon and Shadow Cantonian Marowak. I can't believe I'm saying that. I love it. I love it. And then we have Mandibuzz in the lead because again, similar team to the Mandibuzz double water with Feraligatr and Gastrodon. Backline it's basically the same team except no Gastrodon or no Feraligatr. We have the double Mudslap users. A backline doesn't really appreciate grass types, but the Mandibuzz will. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Let me know what you think. Let me know what Pokemon you're excited to try out. Let me know if you like any of these teams or if you have a team in mind. We'll see how the meta shapes up, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye.